Hello, everybody. I didn't yell this time.
You didn't. Good job.
Welcome to the Sit Rep Podcast as we talk about historical wargaming, maybe some fantasy, maybe some sci fi, whatever. It's a stew pot of gaming, tabletop gaming mostly. And joining us today is the whole crew,
Woohoo.
the whole freaking crew. It's about time.
Yay!
I guess the check's cleared. So here we go. So today
Wait, you
we're going
guys
to
are
talk
getting
about.
paid?
I got a raise. I got double.
You got double nothing. Today we're going to talk about FOMO. I had, before I get way off the track, but I had no idea what freaking FOMO meant until a while back. But we're going to talk about it because it's convention. We're in the midst of convention season, event season. A lot of news to happen. I found a news piece that maybe Marty doesn't even know about, and I'm extremely excited about. So we'll share that and much, much more after this in 3, 2, 1.
Big Duke 6 Eagle Thrust. Put on War Make it loud. And the Romeo Foxtrot. Shall we dance?
You are listening to the Sitrep Podcast, your source for everything related to historical wargaming. Whether you are looking for the latest wargaming news, reviews, painting tutorials, or playthroughs, you will hear about it right here. So grab your favorite beverage or brush and let's hit it.
All right, we are back. Let me take that off the screen. Bada bing, bada boom. We are rocking and rolling.
Tough years in early.
Man,
And
that's a
she
hard hit
missed.
right off the top.
Yeah, and she missed out on Marty's technical difficulties.
Don't worry, Tuffy. I got roasted for like 10 minutes before the show started.
Well, welcome everybody to the show. I can't believe it's already been 2 weeks since the last one. It just seems like yesterday. Joining us in the upper left corner to me is Mr. Kruth. How are you, sir?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
And then below me, off to the left, is Martin.
Coming to you from a remote location. For those of you that are familiar with the area, I am at Big Rock Campground in Northern Illinois and hanging out in my trailer. So if you hear, I don't know, a bunch of noise that sounds like both my dogs losing their minds, that's because they're both in here with me. Also, my lovely bride is sitting across the table from me and will mock me during the entire show.
Where is she? Let's see her. Let's get her on the internet.
Don't do that. Donna will kill you.
That check didn't clear.
And joining us from the sunny state of Florida is Big Jim Oriskany. How are you, sir?
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Doing well, doing well. So as tradition, we start the show off with a quick rundown of what's been going on. And Jim, you're first.
Well, we've run some pretty good Ukraine games recently in Panzer Leader. Those videos have done pretty well. And building some, we've also run a pretty serious game of 7 Days to the River Rhine set in Desert Storm. So the video for that has all been recorded. And now we're just going to cut it together into a video, hopefully to release in the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure exactly when, but soon. And it's kind of up in the air right now, but I hope to be running another tabletop game of 7 days set in Ukraine. People who follow our Facebook page may have seen some of the miniatures that have been put up there lately, and also some of my drones. You need to have drones in Ukraine. And outside of Coruscant, not too many people make drones that I'm aware of. And the ones I was able to find on Coruscant aren't really the right kind for what I'm looking for.
Your drone models are epic looking. Those are very nice.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I'm on a bit of a vacation at the moment, but starting to get back into it. Again, hopefully running a game next week. We'll see how it works out. It's not terribly certain at the moment. But, yeah, definitely that Desert Storm game has already been played and recorded, so we hope to have some content out for that pretty soon.
Very cool. Very cool. Marty?
Well, I am continuing to slave away on my AOS guys. So I have been painting Skaven and Skaven and more Skaven. I am done with clan rats, brother. I'm here to tell you. I have paint. I'm like 65 deep in them. I'm like, I got to move on to characters or something. Yeah, because I have an entire Vanguard box plus the Skaven type box. So there's plenty to be done. So that's what I've been focused on past couple of weeks, is trying to get those dudes knocked out and then get some Spearhead and AOS 4 in over at the Holy Hammers Club.
Very cool. Very cool. Chris?
All right. I've been doing some 3D printing. Cute little
Oh, that's cool.
flower pot.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is very
So,
cool.
I might be able to trade it for some T-shirts.
Hmm.
Oh, we got some bartering happening.
Yeah,
A deal could be struck.
I think. Other than that, been doing a lot of work and just doing my weekly D&D.
Very cool. Very cool.
So what about you guys? What you been doing?
Here we go.
It was
What you spend?
drop day yesterday for the pre-order, so I picked up my Shimmering Skies, and I have just been in Disney card heaven, loving it. Can't wait to build some stuff. There's been really, really cool. I love every one of the sets that's coming out is giving you more of some of the characters that they already had in previous sets, so different versions of it. And so now you can really start trying to be very specifically thematic in decks that you make. So I got some very cool new versions of Maleficent in this one, and the three fairies, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. So I'm gonna make a full-on Sleeping Beauty deck, I think, with these. And I told Bill there's a bunch of Robin Hood in this set too, which when I first picked up the game, he said, "Did you get a Robin Hood card in there?" So now we have it.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I was so I saw a blurb. Somebody was all jazzed up about some enchanted fairy person card that's different, and but I have no idea how the game's played. I don't understand it at all. But people were very excited about it.
Yeah, they it is a very fun game. It is very different from Magic. There's a handful of things that is similar, but most people are probably most familiar with that game. And probably my only complaint with this game, and anyone that plays anything along the lines of Magic will echo the same thing, is that there's no interruption ability. So if you and I are playing a game and on your turn you're doing something that's going to do something very bad to my characters or my side of the board, there is not a way for you to interrupt that happening. It kind of plays more
Sure
like
there
a
is.
chess strategy. You have to be thinking ahead. Yeah, well, yeah, outside of a
Flip the
table
Yeah.
way. That is the thing.
Fair enough.
So you have to get in a mindset where you have to play differently. And so whatever you're bringing to the game in your deck, you have to really take into consideration thinking ahead for removal strategies or ways to get more cards or whatever, because bad things will happen to you and you got to be able to plan to deal with it. So
No opportunity fire phase, huh?
correct. There's not. And I really wonder if they will ever get to the point where they will add that as a mechanic to the game. But I mean, so we're 5 sets in now, and that hasn't happened. They've added a lot of different cool mechanics to it, but still no way to interrupt. But to your
Way back
point,
in the day, that's what saved Panzerblitz was inclusion of opportunity fire. When it first came out, it was an optional rule, and people started mocking the game, calling it Panzerbush, because you could just move your units from bush to bush, and the enemy's sitting there helpless, just watching you dance in front of them, going, "I'd like to shoot sometime this fiscal year, please."
so it has happened. So games have come out where it didn't exist, and then they went, "Okay, we hear you," and added it. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Well, fingers crossed. Maybe we'll get there.
I find the game a little simplistic.
You said you liked it better than Magic originally, although I'm winning Bill over on Magic. We've been playing Commander lately, which you're not supposed to play head to head. You're supposed to have that in a group. but with the Bloomborough set that's out, we've really been digging that. He likes the
Mhm.
raccoon deck.
We don't see
Yep.
you all. We don't see all of you, Don. We see all of Bill. We don't want to see all of Bill.
There, is that better?
Yep, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Bill playing Trash Pandas checks out.
Yeah.
Mhm. Truth.
How about you? What you been doing?
Wait. Hell.
Here we go.
So, I finally got in some green stuff and some right glue, so I can start my painting series on the major winners bust. I didn't realize I didn't have any green stuff, and I need to make sure that I get those seams done. And while I had super glue, I needed some really heavy duty gel to make these big resin pieces stick together right. You know, the thin stuff just wasn't going to hold very well. So I've got that, so we'll be able to start that series. I have another series I'm going to be starting. It's called 2D General. I don't know if anybody gets the connection, but 2D meaning like 2D figures, like WoFun. It's going to be an entire series dedicated to WoFun. It'll be what? There'll be there'll be the Zulu War.
No, that's the shocker.
Shocker.
So we'll have that. There'll be some American Civil War. There'll be some War of Independence, or the Revolutionary War for us. We'll probably do some 7 Years War. I mean, they've got miniatures groups for. I mean, I'll probably even do the Alamo. So yeah. So I've got my list. I'm starting to order that stuff, and as it comes in, we'll do unboxings. And the nice thing is, all I have to do is just finish the bases if I want to. You don't have to. It's for visual purposes only. And then edge all the pieces because it's clear acrylic with printed on it, and people will take a black Sharpie and blacken the edges so it just provides depth or whatever. It just makes it look more finished.
So what?
But,
Scale
yeah.
are you thinking for all of those?
I don't know. I'm thinking 18. I mean, for cost savings, it's probably going to be the smaller scales because the 28s are a little expensive. But I might order one set in 28 just to see. I don't remember if my Zulu guys are in 28 or if they're in the smaller scale. I'll have to look that order up and check.
Yeah, because you can get them in like a half dozen scales, right?
You can get them in 10, 18, and 28, typically, depending on the set. So, and it would be pretty impressive to have the Alamo with all the Mexican army out there, and
Well, considering you already have the Alamo, you just need to pick it up.
Right.
I was gonna say, didn't Marty build that?
Yeah.
On the stream once?
Chris and I built that. Chris finished it. So
Oh, okay.
It is built. It's not painted yet, but it's built. The entire thing.
Well, you're coming down in a few weeks. You could bring it with you.
Yeah.
Actually, we had already talked about that.
There we go.
So would that inform the scale that you're going to print these 2D figures at to match the scale of
the Alamo's 28 mil, so I would just have to order 28 mil Texas Revolution or War of Texas. I can't remember what the set actually is called, but I'll just order up the set and yay. So that's going to be an ongoing series. So, like Jim has things. My plan is I'm just going to do WoFun. It's going to be called 2D General. And this episode will be blah, blah, and blah, blah. So
nice.
That's awesome. Nothing wrong with 2D, man. I mean,
nope.
Hex encounters.
You don't got to paint them.
That's 2D.
And you don't have to paint them. You can just slap them on the base. They're good to go. And there goes Marty again. Seriously,
sorry, guys. I told you I'm remote. I'm operating off of a hotspot, and I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
You've always been like that.
Outs. Dennis, I appreciate you hiding from the missus for at least 2 seconds to see us and check in. I have not forgotten your mug. I'm gonna get it to you. I want to make it special. I was just gonna slap on the Sitlep logo with the Pathfinder member on it.
Yeah, Sitlep.
That's what makes it special.
It's gonna be super special. It's gonna come with a helmet and a cinch strap.
I might throw on a special image, for because I know he's a big bolt action player, so might throw a Sherman or something on there too for him. Because the 3rd edition of Bolt Action is coming out next month.
You know
September.
what? Since that cup is hollow, you should throw a certain syrup in there too.
If I had any. I still have wait a minute. I got a 3D printer now. What the hell?
Yeah,
am I thinking?
print as many as you want, bro.
So there's that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 2D General. I'm definitely looking forward to the video tomorrow for the painting. Tomorrow's will be just unboxing it, looking at the pieces, cleanup, assembly, green stuffing, and I don't remember how fast is green stuff dry. Is it pretty quick?
No, you're gonna want to give it like overnight.
Okay, so I won't be able to prime it in this episode, but it'll just be, hey, what do you get for whatever I paid for it? And it's a beautiful resin print. It's just a little cleanup, assembly. We'll do the green stuff, and that'll be the first episode, and then we'll move on to priming and color choices. Because I'm not going to prime in probably gray or black. It may be priming in the base color.
Pixie pink.
I'm not using fucking Pixie pink.
It's not my fault you bought it.
I didn't know it was pink.
For figures, I usually either like a light gray or even a white for priming.
Well, it's funny.
Like big figures, 40 millimeter stuff like that.
Traditionally, that's what I would do too, Jim. But I was watching one of the painting channels, and he's like, "Why don't you just prime in the color of the base? The main base color, like the OD green ish."
Yeah. That's what I do with vehicles. I've never painted anything nearly that size, so I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, neither have I.
Yeah. Well, and and I think maybe I saw the same one. Who was it that I'm drawing a blank? I saw it like last week.
So many different
but it was a dude that was painting little guys that I saw, and he's like, these are all he was painting ancient Romans and Carthaginians and whatnot. He's like, oh, these guys are mostly this color, the whole stick.
Yeah.
and then he pick out the details. Yeah.
For like epic size or whatever.
Yeah, for little stuff, I prime in black, and then I zenithal the first coat in the basic, if it's OD green or gray or whatever the basic color is, so I get at least some like free shadows.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know if that would work with a larger piece.
I don't know. This I'm still
Stingin'. You are correct. It was Peachy I was watching.
Yeah.
So it's just like I said, this is the first time I've ever taken on a collector display piece. Previous to that, it's always been little miniatures, 28 millimeter scale. I did Bugman's Cafe miniature, but nothing to this scale, and it's very intimidating, to be honest with you. But
28 mil is intimidating to me because I'm a 6 mil, a 15 mil guy at the most, and once in a while I do 28s, and it's that alone is I can't even imagine doing the bigger stuff.
Yeah, 1/16 scale.
Yeah.
So.
Now, one thing that we learned from Michelle Farnsworth when we were taking her class on
monsters,
on painting monsters. Your first thing you need to do is name it.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes personal.
I mean, I was going to say, I think his came named. It is personal.
You understand what I'm saying.
There's only so much liberty you can take with that one after.
Historical piece, guy,
I mean, it's like when I did Thor and Odin. Turns out one's Thor, one's Odin.
Yeah. I'm just... It becomes more personal, though, especially if you have a short name. Right.
So that's the painting and the 2D general, because what I found a little bit of a stumbling block getting into some gaming is assembly, painting, terrain, all that stuff. And if I can help people get more motivated to say, hey, you pull out a box from Oil Fun, beautiful box by the way, and you punch out the minis, you slap on the base. If you want to fancy up the base, you can throw some, gravel, grass, whatnot, finish the edges, and you can have a massive army in a couple hours time, ready to play.
What kind of bases come with those? Is it acrylic bases
MDF,
as well?
MDF.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you could throw those on there and, I'm playing the Battle of Shiloh in a couple hours.
They don't have
So-
painting? Interesting.
If I remember correctly, for years, haven't I been getting grief on this channel about not wanting to get minis that had to be painted?
No.
No, you've been getting grief about having minis and not painting them.
Oh.
There's a difference here. I still have a nice stack of stuff I need to finish painting wise, but
Yeah.
sometimes I just want to play a damn game. And
But
sometimes
that's what I used to say. That's
Yeah,
what I would
but-
say about like, ooh, hey, and then you
I
get
know
X-Wing
on the
and you
other
don't
side
have to paint it.
you're on the other side of the line of like, I don't want to paint it at all.
No,
I
no.
just want, give me some. Where we're anyways, yes, you're right to an aspect. I'm right to an aspect. Jim's always right, and Marty, he's somewhere. So there's
Not
that.
always
Straight on the
right.
show.
I was just gonna say, I mean, if you want to, play in the game, then yeah, let's see some active action reports on the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let's see some content.
yeah. So there we go.
Yeah.
And just to keep things moving along, our Discord channel has been blowing up. And Jim, you've been talking to that guy now. There was a guy that was asking about Air War C-21 and the tokens and the images. So I know you've been helping on that. So yeah, Discord's been blowing up. Another big thing that we were working on last week, I was taking meetings. So we are double booked for October for conventions. The same weekend, we're running 2 coverages on the same weekend. Marty and Chris will be at Autumn Wars in Illinois, covering HMGS Midwest. And at the same time, Dawn and I will be up at Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, covering Dragonfall. We are actually a platinum sponsor for Dragonfall this year. So look forward to some announcements from them about our sponsorship and all that yada. But we'll be up there covering. It's a traditional, very small gaming convention, so it's a little bit of everything. So
Mm.
And their
there'll be a
charity
lot of
work is
activity that
awesome.
weekend. What's that?
Their
and it's
charity
charity.
work is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing is really just to raise money for charity. So
Yep.
we're happy to be part of that this year. We've known Matt Sears
Long time.
very long time
Long time.
since he and Adam, was it Adam? Who's the other guy that with their game?
Why are you doing this?
I don't know.
On camera.
Out,
I don't
out
know.
loud and live and everything.
Yeah. But Matt and his partner used to have a game called. What was the game called?
We're killing this.
Oh man,
It
it's a good thing you wrote a check because
was with the exploding pigs.
Yep.
They had exploding pigs.
God, I can see the packaging too. It'll come to me.
Yeah, it's an
don't know.
apocalyptic miniature skirmish game that they had for a while. I can't remember the name of it.
it's
Oh,
still
Exploding
around.
pigs?
If it's got exploding pigs,
It's
It
definitely
has-
a Muslim game.
we should try this.
you have the rule set, I believe, in the sit rep depository.
Mm.
In the foot rep depository?
Depository.
Repository, not suppository. That would be where Chris keeps his painting.
Because it looks like shit.
All right, shall we? Do you have the news there? Yellow button. Here we go, Marty.
Listen up, people. It is time for the news with Marty. What in the wide of world wargaming is going on? Let's in on the scuttlebutt. Bring on the awesomeness that is wargaming.
All right. Give me a second. Let me slide this over and be able to see what we got going on. Whoa, come back here. Come back here. All right. So now that covered up my whole screen there. Can't see what's going on. Come on, buddy. This is all for tough ears, so she can bust my stones about technical issues. This one is all operator error. It's just me trying to make my news fit my screen. All right. So now, first things first.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Well played. He couldn't have timed that better.
Way to
He
go.
goes Tuffy. He goes all in on the
Yeah.
tech issues for you.
You know that Marty guy.
Oh no.
Wow.
Now
He's just putting that ammo in there
Yep.
himself.
So yeah. Anyway, thanks for being on the show.
With the Price is Right. Wah, 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 wah.
100%. 100%. Oh, and here it comes. Thanks, Tuffy.
All right, Marty. Hit the
It took
news.
her so long to say something because she was still laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, strap in, Tuffy, because it's gonna be a show. All right. So, anywho, as I was saying, the first little bit here, so I peruse various internet sources when I'm doing the research for the show, right? And Tabletop Gaming News is one of the ones that I came across, and I saw this the headline from Dan here. He's the guy that is currently the sole proprietor, I guess, of Tabletop Gaming News. And I'm like, the internet's dying. And so is Tabletop Gaming News. What's that mean? So he made a kind of interesting case about AI generated content that is really pushing out some of the smaller and mid-sized sites that provide news. And he brought up a good point, like Dicebreaker, which was another site that I looked at. Recently they shut down completely. So there's not a whole lot out there. I mean, on Tabletop, obviously huge still, but a lot of the smaller guys just don't get the traffic they used to because of what's going on with AI and the ability to optimize like just a Google search for some generic article out there. So
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. He's got some good stuff. If you're into tabletop gaming, you like to check out the news, swing by. Just give him traffic. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to donate anything. Just swing by his site and check it out, and hopefully he'll have enough traffic to keep going. This is a farmer in Norway that's doing this.
Yeah, I mean the title's a little misleading because obviously the internet is not dying. It's just becoming more reliant on technology, AI. It still comes down to your SEOs. How you set up SEO for web searches.
Sure.
And to be honest with you, YouTube is a great tool for exposure. If you can keep active, but to I don't disagree what he's saying, but I have to tame it down a little bit. Some of these sites that you're seeing going away, it's just a lot of work, and people just don't want to do it anymore. Trust me, we know.
Amen to that.
Yeah,
You fucking amen to that.
Yeah, because when Jim was doing it as well, I don't know if he was doing it to the level we were at one point, but when we were working for Beast of War as the U.S. correspondents, we literally wrote 5 articles a night, every day, Monday through Friday, for them. So, and we would literally sit there after our full-time jobs, get on the internet, and we had a extensive bookmark list. I'm talking probably almost 100 links, if not more. And we would go through everyone looking for a news bit that we could write an article on, because, we were expected to each have 5 news items.
And you had to literally feed the beast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and we weren't getting paid for it. We did it because we really believed in what Beast of War on Tabletop was doing, and we loved being part of the industry, and it's a lot of work.
Yep.
So, and Jim could tell you, when he did the big articles and big things for Beast of War, the big feature pieces, it's a ton of work. And they had a certain way they wanted things done. And there was times where like we sent over like game videos, demo videos, and they would get kicked back and say, no, that camera angle's not right. The lighting's not right. This doesn't look crisp, blah, blah.
Do it again.
And and I literally had a piece of tape on my editing monitor that said WWLD. What would Lloyd do? So, because Brother Lloyd was the one that I dealt with, and he's like, you got to do this. And I'll be, fully transparent as well. There were several times that he got on live with us to help me set up lighting and camera. I mean, and it was like 2 a.m. for him. And so, we spent a lot of time, but it was a lot of work. So for these other people, if they're not generating an income from this, and it is literally a labor of
A
love,
passion project. Yeah.
Yeah.
eventually it just wears on you and it becomes its own beast, and you don't have a life. So
No,
Yeah.
it happens
Yeah.
with sit rep. Let's go ahead and be clear. It happens with.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
We don't
these
have a life.
videos. These videos. No, I'm talking about people.
yeah, no,
It was a
you're right.
joke. It was a joke. Sorry.
Yeah, it gets to be a lot.
Yep.
And what might also take it down is when the feedback from the community starts to taper off. I mean, obviously we're not doing this for money, but when 30 or 40 hours goes into a video and it gets like 100 views, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah.
And then I'm supposed to do that again next week. I already have a job.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we all do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
100%.
So yeah, we understand where he's come from. Again, it's a labor of love. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. We just want to
Yep.
share, our point of views and interests with others that
Yeah.
have
Passion
same.
for the hobby. Yep.
Right. And we throw in a little comedic value here and there. It's all good.
Stunts.
Stunts.
That's right.
So, all right, Marty, what's your next
All right.
piece?
So our friends over at Footsore Miniatures UK there have pretty big news. So it's been 5 years since Gangs of Rome launched, and they got a whole new version 2 rulebook. And it's not just an update, as they say. It's a passionate reinvention of the original, brimming with fresh core, advanced, and campaigned rules. And they've got a starter box. And their starter box is actually a pretty good. It's $87.
Oh
So
no.
you get this. You get this chunk. You get this chunky ass, really nice rule book.
Yeah.
There's also a PDF version of the rule book. It's not included here, but you can get it. It's like $19, I think, for the PDF. But for $87, you get the rule book and you get their accessory kit. So the accessory kit is 5 sprues of plastic Romans for a total of 30 figures. So you can make 3 mobs and 2 gangs of 5 fighters each. The bases, you get dice, you get Roman numeral dice and damage dice. You get a range ruler, you get objective markers, you get activation tokens, stress markers, and an MDF villa.
Yeah. I was just looking at it. That's
Oh,
pretty
it's
sharp.
cool.
Nice.
I mean, for the money,
That's a great
That-
deal.
yeah.
James? Like I
You didn't see me
remember-
do that.
I remember talking about it.
Did you just hit cart?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Marty, I hate you.
Marty the enabler.
Hey, I'm
We're
just bringing the
all
news. You do
enablers.
with it as you wish.
All right. Moving on. All
right.
Already talked this. All right. We're going right to Paizo since you already talked
Yeah.
about starter bundle.
Yep, I was gonna say. Speaking of revisions and revamping and whatnot, just released at Gen Con the new Pathfinder Player 2 core book. So we remember the OGL debacle, like what was that, 2
Yep.
years ago now?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Paizo did not take kindly to that, as they say. So they have dedicated themselves to getting away from it, and they published all their new stuff under the Open RPG Creative license. And this is the final book in the series that need to be updated and then republished under this license instead of the OGL.
Very cool.
You want to talk about a beefy book? This Joker's 320 pages. It's got a ton of stuff in there. It's $60 for the book, US. $59.99. You can get it on the Paizo web store, and they talk about all the good stuff that you can do it with it. It's fully remastered Pathfinder 2nd edition, as I said. So it's the final of 4 books.
Yeah.
It's got all the errata and rules updates, and it's got new additions from its past couple of years of the other books being out. So lots of good stuff in there. If you're into it, this is something that you should probably check out. So,
That's cool. You know what I find interesting is this year was D&D's 50th anniversary. They just put out a new player's handbook, and Paizo at the same time is throwing out their new handbook. It's just interesting how all that time comes. Oh, for love of Peter.
Hi, I'm back.
Anyway, so
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. I'm going to ask a really dumb question here. Pathfinder and D&D aren't related?
Okay. So what happened was it rules 3.5 somewhere in the 3 to 4 generation? People got really mad at D&D and because it had gone off the reservation. So Paizo produced Pathfinder. It is like it is supposed to be D&D the way it should have been. So they're not associated whatsoever. They're two opposing games. But if you've played D&D, you can easily play Pathfinder.
Gotcha.
Vice versa. So it was just
Coke and Pepsi kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
Yeah,
really
100%.
D&D hardcore D&D fans who got really upset with Wizards of the Coast when they changed up D&D really bad, and they came out with Pathfinder. So you have people who love Pathfinder, and you have people who love D&D, and you have people like me who don't care,
Yeah.
and
then
play either.
Well, I mean, just talking with people, I don't play D&D anymore myself, but you often heard them mentioned in the same sentence. I always thought that they were like, it was like a side version or like a different edition, but okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's
Gotcha.
just
technically it's a different system.
Yeah.
Published by Paizo, and as Bill was saying, I think it was 3.5 where they went off the rails with it, and that's what really pushed Paizo to publish their own. And then a couple of years ago, Wizards of the Coast decided that they were going to get all crazy with the open gaming license, and that upset people highly across the RPG genre in general. So there was all sorts of stuff going on there, and Paizo said, "Well, we're not going to use it anymore," and it dropped out of that completely, and it has gone over to the Open RPG creative license because again, they think that's more in keeping with the original intent of OGL and D&D.
Correct.
Oh wow! All right.
Yeah, it was some drama a couple years ago. It was.
Some people I'm friends with on Facebook I just see these posts, like these walls of text, and I'm like, I don't even know what they're talking about, but holy shit, they're pissed off about something.
Yep.
Well, Tim, there are people who are very passionate about every game. You have people who are very passionate about D&D. You have people who are extremely passionate about BattleTech, games, workshop games. Warhammer. Oh my God, the Warhammer 40K people. And then you have your classic gamers. People are very passionate about hex and counter games. So everybody has their thing, and it just when you mess with their game, sometimes they go to the extreme and just make a new one. So there you go. All right, Marty.
With changes, you're never going to please everybody.
No, you're not. No matter what you do.
Yep.
All right, Marty. What's your other piece?
All right. So, as everyone's probably aware, Gen Con just wrapped up. Gen Con 2024. Over 71,000 attendees.
Mm-hmm.
More than 540 exhibiting companies, as it says. Woo! Also, the big celebration of the 50th anniversary of D&D. So they had a ton of D&D stuff, guests and pop-up museum and early chance to get the new player's handbook there. So lots of stuff going on. The convention was founded in 1968, the year of our Lord, by Gary Gygax, who might sound familiar to some of us.
Yep.
Being a co-creator, of D&D, and it's been and in Lake Geneva where you're going for Dragonfall. Also, Gary Con is there. It's another thing that they do. And oddly enough, Gary Con conflicts with Adepticon. It's the same week as Adepticon every year.
Yep, it is.
Yeah,
it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. Gen Con's been in Indianapolis since 2003, and it will continue to be there for a while. They're already locked in for some stuff, but lots of stuff going on there. And one of the things I wanted to I'm not going to go over everything in Gen Con. One, I wasn't there. Two, we could do a whole summer series on the stuff that's at Gen Con. It's so big. But some of the things I do want to highlight, because this is one of the things I like about the gaming community. Gen Con partners with charities each year to raise funds and spotlight the remarkable work of select nonprofit organizations. This year, the attendees raised more than $31,000 for the Rose Gauntlet Foundation and Tangram. And Gen Con has raised over $455,000 for charity since they've been in Indianapolis in 2003 through today. I think that says a lot about the gaming community. And that was kind of what I wanted to highlight out of this little blurb from them. Gen Con next year, if you're interested, back in Indy, July 31st through August 3rd. It's going to be there. Like I said, they've got a contract through 2030. Badges for next year will go on sale in early 2025 sometime. If you're interested, gencon.com, stock the webpage. It'll tell you when it's coming up.
Yep.
All right. My final little bit of news.
You have more?
I have one more, and I alluded to this at the beginning when Chris was trying to pop off about what he was doing.
Hold on a minute. All right, go ahead. Because I have a piece of.
Well, this is gonna be a joint story, if you will. I'm gonna do the intro, and I'm gonna let Chris finish it off, because locally to us, to Chris and I, Chris ran into the make sure I'm saying this right, Chris, the North American brand manager of Renegade Game Studio.
No.
Nope.
I ran into Sean, one of the owners of Critical Grind, who had said that, and I North American sales manager for Renegade Games, lives like 6 blocks down from the store.
Yeah. So Renegade Game Studio
gonna be doing some events there.
Yeah, they're the purveyor of such games as HeroScape, Access and Allies, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, Lucidity. They've got, 100 games underneath them that they either have created or distribute for the brands. So, so we might have an opportunity to do a little something locally.
Yep.
Cool. That would be very cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Sean, and we were invited. I mentioned we do a podcast. He's like, "Well, why aren't you doing it here?"
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we may be able to get some content out of them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. So now
Mm-hmm.
I hand it off to you, sir.
All right. You guys ready?
What you got to share?
Let me just say, Middle Earth is not dead.
Oh,
Dun, 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 dun. Games Workshop announced this weekend a new edition of Middle Earth Strategy Battle Game is coming soon. Booyah, baby!
Whoa!
We don't need another edition.
I didn't see the actual announcement of it. I know that I've heard about it. It's been rumored. It's been spoken in hushed whispers. But now I didn't see the actual announcement. Awesome.
Yes. It is coming out because I don't know if you guys, the War of Rohirrim, if you knew that they just released some more minis, because the talk in the background was that they didn't have the license, or was running out. The license was going to be ending, and they weren't going to support it anymore, and they were just going to sell out stock. That basically Lord of the Rings, War of the Rings, Middle Earth Battles was going to come to an end. And then all of a sudden, they dropped some brand new minis and an announcement of a new edition of the rule set.
Nice.
It is probably the most solid rule set that Games Workshop has. If you ask anybody who has played this game, it is the most solid set of rules that they have produced.
That's because they only mess with it every 20 years.
Right.
So it plays good. It's smooth. It just, I am so excited, and people are going to go, well, why haven't you put it on the channel? Just got my back, okay, people? But yes, for all you Middle Earth fans, it has shown new life, and it's very exciting. My only fear is, are they going to tweak the rules and not make it the best rule set anymore that they have? So
legit. And Chris and I might be able to get a little something on there. We both got some Middle Earth armies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Piotr says, yeah, new LOTR. Do people actually play it? Not my. We play it. We haven't played it in a while. I'll be honest with you.
Bye, Marty.
I'm in the jump talk. I don't know what to tell you.
So anyway, it's a shame if people are not playing. The minis are beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
The game plays very well. Gaz and I played it in Ireland 1 year. I was sitting around. This one won't surprise anybody. I was sitting around bored at the Beast of War headquarters, and they had opened their little game shop, miniature, game store. And sitting on their Warhammer shelves was it Fields of Pelennor or the one before that? I don't remember. One of the starter sets. And I just went, you know what? Let's play that. So Gaz and I bought it, and then we put it together there, and then we played a game. And we had a good time. So, yeah. Yeah. So hopefully it'll bring new life and it gets more players playing. Marty's got kangaroo internet today. He's got something going on.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm running this off a hotspot in the middle of a campground.
So if you're looking for a very solid miniatures game that's scalable, Middle Earth is a great game because you can do it skirmish and all the way up to rank and file. So it's very scalable. It works very well. Which means I'm telling you right now, I'm predicting if they're putting out a new rule set, their new starter set's coming out.
That's true.
You would think that's the TWA.
If they're doing War or Rohirrim, there's going to be.
Oh, good. Another 40 horses.
I was going to say, there's going to be a lot of cavalry in that set.
So I'm excited for it. I think this is going to be a good second half of this year between this Bolt Action. Jim, I'm going to send you a copy of the new edition, and I'd love to get a review from you on what you think of it. And, I know you've played Bolt Action in the past, right?
Once or twice, not very much. It's not honestly my favorite, but
yeah, I would just love to get your thought on it. We'll send that to you, and then toilet walls tend to mess with the connection. Even Piotr is getting nice.
Thanks, Piotr. It's good to see you, buddy. Haven't seen you on the show in a while. Glad to see that you haven't lost a step.
What's that say behind you? For a good time, dial 1-900. I can't quite see it in the screen there.
669-3400.
Anyway, so between that, we're gonna have 2D General. Jim's got some ripping stuff. Jim, isn't the battle of? I just watched the whole series of Color of War in the Pacific, and it went through all the island hopping campaigns. What was in January 45? What big battle was that? Okinawa?
No, that's before that. There were some big battles still going on in the Philippines in January of 45. Okay. The Philippines had actually started back in October of 44. February 19th of 45 is Iwo Jima, and then
Iwo Jima. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's April. That's it. That's February 19th. We did a piece on that back in the Ops Center.
Yeah.
Sort of a special presentation for the 75th anniversary.
I could not believe how brutal that battle actually was.
It's yeah.
And I was watching that, and the Sands of Iwo Jima, the John Wayne movie, I don't think does it justice. As to the reality of it, but
well, to be fair to the movie, no movies did justice back then.
Yeah.
Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima do a better job, but no movie's really going to do it 100% because it's insane.
And I can tell you what, man, the fanaticism of the Japanese soldiers, Navy, that were on those islands that didn't surrender, and they just fought to the death, thousands of them. It mind
21,500.
Yeah,
I think they wound up taking about 140 prisoners.
No.
The last 4 Japanese people who were fighting there didn't surrender until January 1949.
Wow, that's
So,
crazy.
yeah, it gives you an idea of what was going on there. 30% of the Medals of Honor won by the U.S. Marine Corps were won on Iwo Jima. 28 battalion commanders were on that island. 14 of them were either killed or wounded. And there were more than one. There was more than one company. There were several companies, in fact, that sustained 100% casualties. Every single man in the battalion in the company was hit at least once. And yeah, I mean, a big portion of them, never made it out of there.
Yeah.
February 19th of 45 is still the bloodiest day in the history of the Marine Corps. Iwo Jima is easily the bloodiest battle in the history of the Marine Corps. It's it's definitely a rough one for sure.
Well, respect to all of them, and I know we'll give it the respect it deserves on the channel. So yeah, just amazing that we're 80 years removed from that war, and for us, my grandpas both fought in the war. I knew people. I grew up with people that were in World War II, and it's hard to imagine that was 80 years ago. And then you think about how old those people were. A lot of them, young kids that went off there. So, it's amazing. So
Yeah, I mean, we did the 75th commemorative edition. And like to your point, yeah, it's like, damn, that video is already 5 years old. Coming up on it. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. There could probably be a whole episode by itself, so I won't get too into it. But it's definitely a big one.
Yep.
Not one like we say in that episode. If you want a game on Iwo Jima, that's not one for beer and pretzel night. That's going to be a serious one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
How about it?
Yes, sir. All right, let's switch over to our main topic, shall we, guys?
We're an hour in. Why not?
Well, no, we're right where we should be. We're right where we should be. We keep that show to an hour and a half. So we're right where we should be.
We'd be farther along if Marty didn't keep dropping out.
Yeah, that'd be true too.
I mean,
so the topic of today's show was, do you get FOMO? And FOMO is
Fear of missing out.
So, we're in convention season, and we did not go to Gen Con this year. And there were times where Dawn and I were kind of like, oh, geez, I wish we went, because they're, but I'll be honest with you, and this is our impression.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing at Gen Con that was earth-shatteringly big release. Nothing. You had the 50th anniversary of D&D, and I thought when they did, where were we there for? The 40th anniversary, when they had the big castle in the gaming hall and all that. We've been to Gen Con since 2013 up till 2019, and then we skipped a couple of years because of COVID, and then went back last year and just did the decision not to go this year because it's just too crowded and there was nothing really that going on. But I don't know. I think it was more of a muted event this year. Yeah, they still had stuff, and then the stupid player's handbook, guys. People were like lining up, and people were buying them and throwing them on eBay for like $300-400. The book releases in a month.
Yeah.
Okay. In a month.
Pay your $59 and get it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it that in of itself, not only being a money grab, is an FOMO, right?
Yeah.
I need to get this because I don't want to miss out on this. I have to have it now, right? But it also leads to game releases and miniature releases. I think that's where some of the gaming companies get really good at is, got this before it's gone. Games Workshop's very good at doing this.
Well, I was going to say, that is their entire marketing model.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Limited release.
Yeah, well, look at their inventory. I mean, it's like sold out.
Because they use FOMO.
Yeah.
They hit on the fear of missing out. If you
No,
don't
I just
get
think they're piss poor logisticians.
Or they're doing exactly, and I will argue this, they're doing exactly what they mean to do. They don't give a crap that it's out. They want it to be out because now you miss it. And, oh, by the way, we're going to bring this in. So now get that because it's going to be gone.
Yep.
And they do it cyclically. I mean, they literally would tell you they're going to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let me ask each and one of you guys.
I don't think it's entirely intentional. I think some of it is just piss poor management.
1,000%.
See, The argument I have for that is, Marty, you saw the issue I had trying to find monsters for my army. They were all sold out. Now, if they were trying to do that, there'd be at least something or some way to get them.
Why?
That's
No,
what
They
you're
don't
fear
want you to
missing
buy
out.
the monsters. They want you to buy other shit.
It
They
Well,
want
then
you
it
to
would
buy
have
the
to be a
whole
whole
new
nother
starters
army.
then. Yes,
no.
do that.
But here's the thing: it guarantees that they are going to sell everything, and stuff's not going to sit on shelves and then start get discounted, and then whatever happens to old stock, right?
They learned their lesson with the Leviathan box for $40K.
What are you talking about? I like my Leviathan box.
Yes, but
Is it still in the plastic?
Shut up. No, it's not still in the plastic. Ah!
It's a new game.
GW
All right,
got me on that one.
everybody in the audience, if the next person who can predict when Marty's going to lose connection, I will send you a T-shirt.
What's the over under on that?
No, and Marty is not eligible to play.
Turns out
doesn't work, Marty. You can't.
You can't play. So yeah, if you guys predict who the next time that Marty, what time? It's 10-11 hour time when he's going to lose connection.
Yeah.
So 11 minutes after what hour you're in, I'll send you a T-shirt.
But
Anyway,
for the
back to
rest
my-
of us, it's a drinking game.
yeah, yeah, right? Yeah,
Anyway,
back to
sorry,
my drinking game. So anyway, back to my rant. GW does these things on purpose. It is intentional, and they don't care if you can buy a whatever, because they don't want you to buy that. They want you to, they want to prove that, yep, all our stuff's gone, and we told you it was a limited release. So here's our brand new set of stuff. You have to get that. And oh, by the way, we're going to change this every 3 months, along with changing our rules every 3 years. So
Now, Tuffy, that's cheating. You got to predict the exact time, not just say minutes. But I agree. It is a total marketing scheme by Games Workshop. But my question to you guys, have you ever experienced FOMO related to gaming?
Yeah.
Such as?
Sure.
The amount of stuff that I have purchased at Adepticon that is still in plastic.
What drove you to buy it?
Poor money management skills.
No impulse control.
Yep.
But okay, what got you to buy it? I mean, those are all factors, but what was the hook? Was it
I
marketing?
don't know.
Was it
It's a
word of
little
mouth?
bit of both. I mean, I remember dropping
Peer pressure?
$1 billion, not on Artis Opus, but on what is the brushes that come apart with the little leather case.
Games and
Yeah.
Gears.
Oh, Games and Gears.
Yeah, remember what we spent the year prior?
Yeah.
Yeah, we both did the all
I'm
in.
all in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use them though. I mean, they're not bad.
No,
I mean, you're not gonna.
they're not worth the money that we dropped.
Picasso. Not gonna pay to Da Vinci with it, but
Yeah,
I think they're good brushes.
yeah,
they
not
they
bad.
are good brushes. They're not worth what we spent for them.
Well, I don't know what you guys spent on them. We never pay for them, so.
for the amount that I think that you got your money's worth for the amount of brushes you got, because it's a pretty big set.
Yeah. Did you get Kolinsky's in them or just the synthetics?
Both.
Oh, no, we got
Plus-
everything. We did the all in.
Plus
Okay.
plus the silicone little dot dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like them.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
use it. I particularly like them if I'm traveling, because those are already set up to go places. So I can
Yep.
just chuck them in my little paint box, and I don't have to worry about crushing the tips on my nice ones that I have on my paint desk.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, did we need to do the all in?
No.
Probably not.
You were hyped, but that was convention hype, right?
Yep. Yep, we drank the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, have you ever had FOMO, as far as like a game that you wish you got into, or, whether it's like an actual game that you could buy or a game that somebody was playing that you wish you had gotten into or anything like that?
Not to be a wet blanket, but honestly, no.
Okay.
Not a big fan of conventions. When Marty was talking about 70,000 people at Gen Con, I was trying not to cringe.
Right. 100%.
Not that big a fan of the human friggin' race, to be honest. I don't like to be around that many people. I don't care what other people are playing. They don't know. I mean, sometimes, I guess the closest I come to FOMO is when, other people are running a certain game about a certain topic, and I know they're not doing it right, and I know they don't know the material, and I know that, XYZ, and yet it's getting all kinds of attention, all kinds of acclaim. And I'm just like, we could be doing this so much better.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. That's probably the closest I come to any kind of FOMO. But other than that, when it comes to gaming, I mean, I know I always talk about the games I play are 50 years old. I'm not worried about the next release of Panzerleader, coming out. I do 7 Days to the River Rhine. That's probably the most recent game that I played. That came out a couple years ago. Actually, more than that, like maybe 5 years ago, from Great Escape Games. But other than that, yeah, I don't really get into new games. I don't buy miniatures that I don't need for a certain topic. Like, if we're going to do a certain battle, I have to go out and I have to buy those miniatures as part of a project. I don't like buy an army because, a website told me I had to have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. It's just not really my thing.
Okay. Well, yeah, I get FOMO. I'll be honest. Like I said, with the convention, there was a point where, like, geez, I wish, we had gone. But then I look at the numbers and I looked at the pictures from the Gen Con groups, and I'm like, good God. If you've ever been in that mass of people at opening day of the exhibitor hall, it's ridiculous. We usually sit up on the upper level by the escalators and film it and all that. I would never put myself down in that mass of people. First of all, why the hell are you running? Okay. I got to get this. You want to see FOMO at its greatest? That mass of people is
the
FOMO.
Rope drop.
Yeah, the rope drop. That's FOMO, man. That is huge FOMO right there.
Yeah, but it does create great memes. I saw one that said "The Running of the Nerds."
Yeah, well, that is the title of it. That is the title of that group now. So, but
I mean, I am with Jim on this one in particular. It's over 70,000 people. Hard pass. Not interested.
Oh, didn't I tell you they're in next year for Gen Con?
Let me know how it goes.
I want to go because there's some stuff that you can't get anywhere else. Like,
see, there it is. There it is.
FOMO.
We just saw it in real time.
But is it really FOMO? One of the books that we all read, or most of us read in high school, and I'm talking about Bill and Marty, was the Dragonlance series.
Yeah.
And Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, they're still writing. And at Gen Con, you can get them to autograph books.
Yep. And they just announced their new series.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't do that anywhere else. So if you want an autograph from them, that's not a fear of missing out. That is is it? I don't know. I wouldn't call that a fear of missing out.
Yeah, I don't think that's FOMO because you have to go
it's
there
not,
and get it.
It's not time based. Yeah.
Yeah. If so, but
now if they said that we're gonna sell 15,000 books and we're bringing them all to Gen Con and that's the only place you could get it.
Yeah, then it would be.
And you wanted the book, that would be more of a FOMO situation, probably.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, we have to go at least once. And Marty, you said it was on your bucket list to do at least once.
Yeah, not with 70,000 people.
Well, it's never going to be less. I mean, those days are long gone, bud. You should have gone with me back in the 80s when
I'll go to.
Let's see, where was I? I wasn't around.
Yeah, I went to Gen Con when it was still up in Wisconsin. It was a little smaller back then.
That seems to be a lot more my speed because I mean, Adepticon is enough for me, and that's
don't get
10,000.
Don't get me started on Adepticon.
Mhm.
I'm still a little bitter on that one.
What happened there?
They
I'm
moved.
sorry. You said not to get you started
No.
on it.
I know. They moved, Jim. They
They
moved.
changed
Okay.
locations. They're in. They're going to Milwaukee next year.
They went across the border, Jim. Now I got to get a passport just to go to Cheesehead Land.
Yeah,
Oh no.
they're behind the cheddar curtain.
The cheddar curtain.
Because,
Fortunately,
in the whole city of Chicago, there isn't a bigger convention space. So we're going to go to Milwaukee. Have you ever been to Milwaukee, Jim?
No, I'm happy to say I have not.
It's a nice town. Don't get me wrong, but it's not Chicago.
It's one of those cities that is mentioned in
But-
movies, like when they want to say that somebody is boring. Oh, I'm from Milwaukee. It's
Well, Schaumburg isn't Chicago either, though. I mean, that's where
Yeah.
it was at.
but it's
Yeah.
close enough, right? You had O'Hare literally 10 minutes from there.
Oh yeah,
The
it
city
was
itself
right
is
by the
literally
airport.
15 minutes on the expressway,
Yeah.
to the outskirts of the city, not downtown. Just, but
I never knew until very recently what O'Hare International Airport was actually named after. I
Yeah.
thought it was an old,
O'Hare.
yeah, I thought it was an old like mayor of Chicago or something. No, it's like the top Navy ace of World War II or something like that.
The time? 10:21.
Ooh,
No.
10:21 in the
Oh,
pool.
Drink.
Oh no,
sorry, guys.
it's exactly 10 minutes, not 5.
Too funny.
But yeah, and I don't know if you know this, Jim. They have is it a TBY? I'm trying to remember which one it is, but they recovered one of the bombers from the old aircraft carriers that they had out on Lake Michigan for practicing landings.
Okay.
That into the lake, they recovered it from the lake, sent it down to Pensacola. They restored it, and it's hanging in the hallway of one of the terminals.
Yeah, it's
It's
a TBY.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It
I
is
haven't been to
beautiful.
Chicago that often. I don't know why I never knew that, and I only found that out like 2 weeks ago.
It's in the United Terminal, right? Terminal
I
1.
believe
I
it's
think so.
United.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
it-
it looks like it came right off the floor of the factory. It's beautiful.
Nice.
So they did an
And they-
amazing job on it.
They also have a nice a display about Butch O'Hare, who he is, what he
Yeah.
did, why it's named that, that type of
Yep.
stuff. So I mean, it's a pretty good little. I was gonna say memorial. I don't know, memorial's the correct word, but display of the history of the name and where it came from and the person that it's actually named after.
So
But
FOMO
I
also,
get.
Go ahead,
sorry,
Jim.
go ahead. I was just gonna say, I know what you guys were talking about how you got to go to Gen Con once. Jen's on the stream. God, what year was it? 1996. We went to Mardi Gras, like right in New Orleans, Bourbon Street, Fat Tuesday. It was a miserable experience, but it was. I'm still glad we did it, because that's like one of those things you got to do at least once. We had fun. It was just how much alcohol you had. But
Yeah.
it was, I get it. I get why, something might be rough. But like my dad lives up near Daytona. We went to Bike Week once. I don't give a damn about motorcycles, but it's just one of those things that you want to be able to say that you did at least once.
right?
Yeah.
That said, yeah, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
nice thing about Gen Con though is that because it has so much, like you can find your thing to do at Gen Con, and like it kind of tries to be all things for all people.
It does, yeah.
I mean, truly. So, there's going to be a good portion of it that is going to be completely of not interest to you, but you'll find tons of things that are like, that's the fun part about it for sure. But you have to commit to the fact that you are going to be in a sea of people. It's people soup, which is now COVID flavored, as it turns out. So, but yeah, I don't know.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
But
if you were into everything at Gen Con, you wouldn't have time for it. It sounds like.
Yeah, there's no way.
I mean,
Oh.
they had HMGS actually ran tables and games there this year.
Yep.
So there was a lot of historical gaming going on, and I know that there's several of the publishers of historical games in the exhibitors hall.
Mhm.
So we've talked to them in the past. So
Yep.
yeah, there is definitely a little bit of everything. Whether you're doing tabletop games, miniature games, card games, whatever, role playing games, weirdo stuff. I'm just being facetious, but you know, if you're into different cosplay thingies. Oh, really, Marty? That's a surprise.
He shouldn't have got one. He's
you're
already in the
the
stall.
He's already in the bathroom. Why can't
There you
he just go?
But yeah, I mean, you do have to go to Gen Con at least once if you're into gaming and you want to try. I mean, some people just have no interest in going to conventions, and that's totally fine. That's
Absolutely.
This
Yeah,
recruit-
absolutely.
this
But-
recruit.
You
But-
like Historicon, didn't you? Like Historicon, Jim?
I can't remember Historicon. It's one long bloody smear. I was there 4 days. I think I got 4 hours of sleep.
Oh.
But yeah, Historicon was. Then again, from what I hear, I'm not a convention expert. Clearly, Historicon is a little different than a lot of other conventions, as far as how it's set up and like its participation. It's not just a huge vendor hall. Like I would never go to Salute. You couldn't pay me to go. I've been offered pay to go to Salute, hard pass. No. First of all, it's like the most expensive city in the world, number one. And number two, it's only a day. And number three, it's literally just people selling things. I mean, okay, there's a few demo tables here and there, but, you know.
It's definitely, that's its own interesting beast for sure, because
Yep.
it, like you said, yeah, there you can play a little bit of things, like, and by play, I mean dabble in it, just a demo, not, you know, that's not events specific.
Yeah.
Historicon is like
Sure. All right. My
two-thirds
birthday, should
to
we let
3/4 just tables with and anybody can join, and you know, you go ahead and start playing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
raise their hand, Marty? Sorry. No, I get it. I don't know. You know, either it's your thing, it's not your thing. It's no big deal. I mean, the nice thing about gaming is there's so many avenues. Whether you play solo play, you can play, you know, with just one other person, multiple people. Go to game stores. You can do it online. You could do it at conventions. It's just whatever you like to do. You know, so
I mean, one of my favorite things from Gen Con in our trips there was I got demo tickets to do a demo of Mage Wars. Which was also a card game, except it had a board with it too.
With a
It was
battlefield
an
type
interesting
thing,
kind of thing, but it was cards that you maneuvered on a board. And I sat down, you know, and it's rows and rows of tables. And I sat down at this table, and you get some random person, you know, to play against. And the person that sits down across from me, he goes, "Hey, I don't know if you know me, but I'm Red Ben from."
Oh, I remember him.
I was like, "No
There's
shit."
a
There's
blast from the past.
I get to play. It was awesome. That was.
you know what also
God.
happened?
Yeah, I knew we were gonna go there.
Famous people visit Gen Con, and other people
Yeah.
think they see famous people that they actually. It's like, you know, what was that Bruce Willis movie? I See Dead People.
Yes.
So somebody saw a famous person, goes, "Hey, that looks just like."
Going to
Oh, well.
conventions, it's a little trippy. People like rolling up on you. It's happened to me a couple times. Actually, a lot of times at Historicon, people roll up on me like, "Oh my God, how you doing?" Like I know this person. I'm like, "Hi." You're like trying to be polite because they see your face, you don't see theirs, and then they explain, "Oh, yo, I'm, you know, game user 6969 or whatever." You know,
Not even a name.
some random gibber of numbers. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'd recognize that handle, but."
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
It's
you
good.
get a little taste of celebrity, don't you?
Yep.
People come up to, "Hey, I saw you." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, man, cool."
I was
and then
buying
someone
a slice of
starts talking
pizza
about
at
their-
Historicon. I was buying pizza at Historicon. I went to order the pizza. I was like, "Yeah, let me get a pepperoni with extra cheese." I'm like giving the guy my change. The guy behind me says, "I know that voice. That horrible, raspy, nasty voice. You do sit rep podcast, don't you?" I'm like, "Oh God, yes, that's me."
That's great.
Well, the one good thing about the conventions, though, yeah, there's a ton of people, but that's the only way you're going to get 540 companies, right? That was the share, 540 companies.
Over
Yeah,
yeah.
but a lot of those companies
You're
are-
going to see stuff that you didn't know was out there. and there are
That's true.
so many things out and
That's true.
about. You're
Yeah.
you're not going to know.
Yep.
But so for 2025, we'll probably pick up the convention pace a little bit. We'll have
Can we plan ahead a little bit better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's-
Oh, Historicon wasn't our
Not
fault.
from us. I know.
I was
No.
about-
That wasn't our fault.
They let us
I-
know,
no, I
what,
know,
like
I know, I
11
know.
days ahead of time or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
But by the way, HMGS, we're down for it. Let's talk now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got NashCon coming up in
Next
2
weekend.
weekends.
Next week, right? Oh, is
Yeah.
it 2 weeks?
Next
Yeah.
weekend,
Yeah, next
when I
weekend.
come back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Steve's going to be
Um,
down there.
Yep.
So Dawn and I, depending on if Dawn gets back from Florida,
I come back Friday.
okay, we'll probably shoot down there on Saturday and check out NashCon. I'm gonna reach out to because I didn't realize it was an HMGS event. It's run by HMGS South Midwest or something like that. So
yeah.
chapters. So I'm gonna reach out to them and say, hey, we're gonna come down to coverage. Is there anything I need to do to let you guys do heads up? But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it because our friends from Miniature Building Authority are going to be there. Phalanx Consortium are going to be there. We might see Steve Herner. He said he's going to be there, and
Does
so
that-
we'll see a lot of people.
Phalanx Consortium is in town with you, right? Isn't that where
They live about 2 miles away from us,
Yeah. I was going to say,
and we still have not gotten together to play games. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
No, but we did talk the other
Yeah.
day, and
That-
he did say that. So.
that's because Dawn refuses to go to the game store to play games.
No. Well, I mean, we have a really nice game room right here. We could be doing shit right here. He could be on the podcast for God's sake. So
Black Powder is like 45 minutes down in Miami from me, and we've known each other for 5 years. Still haven't. The post says it all.
So it's runs about every 10 minutes, huh?
Apparently. I don't know.
that would
Yeah,
be
almost
good.
exactly.
Love to do a little video of I would love to give people an inside look as to what a miniature company's business looks like. Whatever they're comfortable showing. We did that with
Go pull up into their garage, be like, "This is really it, suckers."
we did that with the guys from Mythic Games, right?
No, they weren't Mythic. Were they Mythic Games? No.
MegaCon.
They did.
MegaCon.
They made the MegaCon. Yeah.
MegaCon Games, and then when they used to be in Indianapolis, they did Myth,
Yes.
the board game. So, and yeah,
That was fun.
Yeah.
They were good people.
Yep. So, but yeah, people would like to see that kind of stuff. So, yes, sir. So, anybody else have any thoughts? I mean, FOMO wise, or any other general topics?
No,
I don't
mean,
think-
I don't know if you guys talked about it, but I think for me, like with FOMO, it's Kickstarter is a great example of.
Oh, that's
like,
that's a
where-
good
where
point. That's a
you-
huge.
where
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, and it's funny because it's like the best and the worst example of it because
Right.
yeah, all hype about it and you're like, I gotta do it, and then you don't see it like forever, which that's the way Kickstarter works,
Mhm.
but it isn't even like the instant gratification piece. It's just the hook, and you're like, oh, I need that, and because they offer extra things that probably aren't going to be with the game when it gets released
Yeah,
out
the
to
Kickstarter
retail.
exclusives.
Yep.
Yeah, their business plan is definitely FOMO.
Oh,
Yes,
big time.
100%.
Well, it's not Kickstarter's plan. Kickstarter's just a platform.
No, it's
Yeah,
the company,
so-
whatever company
Yeah.
is bringing it.
Right.
But Kickstarter wouldn't work without FOMO.
That's definitely a piece of it. I would.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say it wouldn't work without it, but that is certainly a component of it
A hook.
Well, that's
and-
what gets you the big
Uh-huh.
dollar amounts.
Yeah.
because
It's
that's how
the
the
phone.
companies use it.
That's how Kingdom Death got $1 million+ dollars. I think they were the first game to go over $1 million in pledges. And other things. So, yeah,
Yeah, or the Wormwood guys with their gaming tables.
yep,
Yeah.
They're still trying to fulfill orders.
yep.
Yeah. Crazy.
Cool. So, all right. Well, you know what? Unless anybody else has anything else, we're coming up to that time anyway. So, we're gonna head on out. And we want to thank everybody in the audience for joining us today. Again, go ahead, Marty.
I was gonna say I'll apologize for my spotty connection while I'm operating from the jump talk here.
Yeah. So, we're going to say adios, amigos and amigas. And then, look for the part 1 of the major winners, bust, build, paint tomorrow. And then I got to start working on 2D General.
How many parts is that going to be, do you think?
Jim, I will work around your schedule. I have no qualms about that. So if you got stuff you want to get out because of anniversary times and stuff, I'll work around it.
I was actually kind of hoping just the opposite. I want to see how long my vacation lasts.
How long? I see at least 4, if not 5 episodes.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay. So you know what? Take the month of August
for
off.
a cocktail.
Take the month of August off.
You got to twist my arm. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, do that because, like I said, between the paint, major winners, and 2D General, I'll have enough content. We'll start getting some good content out there, and rocking and rolling. So, and then
we don't want the community to get tired of me.
Right. Well, they're gonna start. Jim, I'm going to be honest with you. I get messages when you're not on a Sunday show for like a couple weeks. They go, "Where's Jim?
Is Jim okay?"
You're like, you, but where's Jim?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're announcing now. I'm gonna be out for like another couple weeks.
So is this kind of like what happens with Amazon? If they don't hear from you for a couple of days, they do a welfare check.
Check, yes.
Yeah.
What you're oohing about?
I gotta find 2 seconds.
I was gonna say, sounds like Bill suddenly FOMO'd.
Something.
I'm trying to remember the name of that website.
Oh, that website.
Reference to.
So I also found another something to get me in trouble. I was watching another YouTuber video on Lord of the Rings, and he has links to a website that does Lord of the Rings in epic scale. And it's all 3D printed stuff. And I can see some.
Is it STLs or physical models?
STLs.
You got to get those giant, those giant elephant-looking things from the third movie.
Elephants.
In 6 mil, that's going to be like.
Yeah.
So why go epic scale? Just do the Zorpazorp thing and get a small auditorium.
No.
Yeah, just go ahead and start using that tennis court as your playing surface.
I like epic scale stuff.
Yeah.
So
I have your Lord of the Rings epic, by the way.
Do you really?
Battle of 5 Armies.
5 Armies.
Yeah.
That's kind of a collector's item, dude.
Mm-hmm. That's why I took it instead of you selling it to whomever when you downsized and moved.
Yeah. So yeah. So we might do some Lord of the Rings stuff because I do love the Lord of the Ring. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the show. I want to thank everybody who commented and participated in the conversation. Jen, and of course, Tuffy Ears and Piotr and Dennis and everybody else. And we missing a couple of our other regulars, but it's the summer. People got stuff to do. Mm-hmm. But we hope to see you soon. And I will see you on the screen tomorrow in part 1. And Don, any final words?
Nope.
Chris?
Nope.
Marty?
Bye, Can Dios.
Jim?
Sounds like we're rounds complete.
All right, sir. With that, we will head on out of the show. Thank you very much, guys, and take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the SITREP podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of our channels on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.
It's our music. It's our outro music.
Join us every other weekend for a new episode of the podcast. And don't forget our other programming on Wednesday.